This Fortnite island is overflowing with secrets, some of them straight up mind-blowing. And with the launch of Season 3, we've got even more questions than answers. But here's the thing, the key to unlocking them all might lie in the final live event and the descendants of an ancient civilization that once ruled this land. Over the past few seasons, we've met characters from across the multiverse, but one of them stands out more than the rest. The Mask Maker. He's not just another villain, he might be the missing piece in this entire puzzle and the key to the upcoming final showdown. So loopers, grab your popcorn and get comfy, because it's time to uncover one of the island's deepest secrets. The only thing that might bring us any closer to solving these mysteries is the final scene of the Galactic Battle season. We saw a beam bursting out of the spirit realm, trying to shatter the loop's bubble from the inside. And crazy part? This isn't even the first time we've seen it. Back in Chapter 6 Season 2, Dago was already firing those massive dark energy blasts into the sky, slowly breaking the loop without us even realizing it. But the real question is, why is the Chapter 6 island even trapped in a reality bubble to begin with? But before I tell you, dear loopers, don't forget to use the best creator code in the multiverse. Speaking of multiverse, let's rewind to the Fracture event that kicked off Chapter 4. That's when the 0 Point teleported into an unknown reality. And based on everything we know, the reality bubble always follows the 0 Point. So now the question is, could it have landed in reality 783? Let's remember, back in Chapter 3, the bubble and the island together made up reality 0. It kept both islands stable and protected the 0 Point at the same time. So now that we've got both an island and a loop on Oninoshima, there's a solid chance the 0 Point is here too.
Maybe that's why the Zero Shard showed up, like it's returning to its source. You know what they say? Everything goes back to where it came from. And maybe, just maybe, the 0 Point is slowly rebuilding itself from all the scattered pieces. And here's where it gets wild. Oninoshima? Yeah, it existed long before the Big Bang. My theory, when the 0 Shard arrived here, it created the reality bubble around the island as a defense mechanism. And it happened the moment it got dragged into the spirit realm.
That actually makes a ton of sense. The shard was totally defenseless after the demons captured it, so to avoid attention, it wrapped the island in a protective shield. This would also explain why Dago didn't just enter the spirit realm at the end of Lawless season. He also started attacking the bubble itself, trying to weaken it. Why? To help the Empire breach the defenses of Oninoshima faster. And it gets even deeper. Dago might have predicted that fragments of the Death Star would crash into the portal and unleash the demon domain. I'm basing this on Chapter 2 Season 8, where we learned the spirit realm can literally see the future. Bottom line, Chapter 6 Island is packed with secrets we still haven't uncovered. And I, for one, can't wait to see what Charlie Wen reveals next. Now, some players are speculating that the protective dome over the island isn't a loop bubble at all, just the natural atmosphere of reality 783. Personally, I'm not buying that. We've got confirmation from Chapter 4 that island wasn't inside a bubble. And the reason was simple. The 0 Point was incredibly weak. So weak, it literally turned to stone. Even Optimus Prime noticed the island's energy fading. The 0 Point was barely holding on, which meant it couldn't generate a full reality bubble like before.
And why did I bring up Chapter 4? Because, according to leakers, kinetic ore might be making a comeback. Yup, the same stuff the Oathbound used to forge weapons. Remember those mysterious panels Jonesy used to summon the greatest hunters from across all realities? Well, who knows what purpose they'll serve in Chapter 6. Meanwhile, the Spirit Realm portal explosion didn't just shake the island. It unleashed a massive energy pulse. This blast didn't just grant everyone on the island superpowers. It also brought the demon's domain, led by none other than the Mask Maker, Dago, right into the world of Fortnite.
And now, he's slowly draining the island's energy. Deep beneath Dago's main temple lies a colossal rift, glowing with dark purple energy, dripping into what looks like a brand new dark portal. So yeah, Dago's plan might just be to forge a gateway big enough to unleash absolute chaos when Season 3 ends. A gate that could bring the dark presence itself into Oninoshima. Oh, and there's more. That same portal under the demon domain? It whispers the exact same ancient word we heard from the War Era masks last season. This confirms what many feared.
Daigo's no longer in control, and it's actually confirmed by NPCs. The Dark Presence is pulling the strings, forcing him to drain the island dry. And here's the creepy part. Every time we defeat the Mask Maker in battle, Daigo snaps back, just for a second, and he begs Kendo and Jade to free him, but at the same time telling that they can't stop the darkness, none of us can. Chills, right? But wait, it gets even darker. Night Rose just dropped some brutal lore fuel. She was once possessed too, just like Daigo, and she describes the Dark Presence as a creature born of malice and ambition. Malice, the desire to cause pain and suffering. Ambition, the hunger for control, no matter the cost. Let's pause on Rose for a second. She used to serve as a lieutenant of the Spirit Realm during the era of Shogun X. But now, Daigo's taken command, and her old role as lieutenant of the Demon Army, it's been filled by Core. We don't know much about Core, except for one thing. She's sworn to the darkness. Back in Chapter 2, Season 8, she was a hired assassin with mysterious ties to the Imagined Order. But now, she's something else entirely. What happened to her inside the Spirit Realm? What did she face? We don't know yet, but hopefully we'll get answers soon. What we do know is a new squad of heroes is rising to face Core and the demon threat. They're called Supernova. So where did these superpowered newcomers even come from? Well, based on the new season trailer, it looks like Superman himself saved them. And now the entire crew is settled at the Supernova Academy, funded by none other than Midas. But the trailer hinted there are many more gifted individuals out there. Their mentors? Jonesy and Hope, with Hope still trying to wrap her head around the fact she's running a literal superhero school. Each of them has their own room, their own office. To help control their powers, the heroes needed a coach. And surprisingly, that role went to Night Rose, who, according to Hope, is seriously putting them through the ringer. But here's the catch. Who's the leader of this whole team? Every squad needs one, right? But Supernova? No captain. And honestly, that's kind of disappointing. Some loopers believe that Singularity might step into that role later in the season. And here's why. Utopia City, the new location, is built with the same overlapping circles and star symbols as the old base of the Reality Warriors. But the real spotlight is on that massive floating sphere, which is connected directly to a zero-point portal. And guess what? That same tech was used by the Reality Warriors. So yeah, this might be teasing Singularity's return. And if she comes back, she's a top pick to become Supernova's official leader. That's all we know for now. But with how important Supernova is to the story, it's hard to believe they'll just vanish after Season 3. Plus, we've still got some wild mysteries to solve, like the shadowy figures stalking Morgan Mist, and that epic zero-point portal that might just lead back to the vault from Chapter 1. And if you missed the full breakdown of that vault story, and how it connects all our realities, I've got it ready for you right here. Alright, so let's head back to Utopia City, one of the newest locations this season. And yeah, we spotted something seriously weird. Right in the middle of it, there's this portal, and inside, you can actually see the zero point. But here's the strange part. That can't be the Chapter 6 zero point, because it's shattered. We've been running around the island collecting the shards, and one of them's even trapped in the Spirit Realm. But this portal? The zero point inside it looks untouched. That's not our zero point, so what's really going on here? We don't have all the answers yet. Fortnite's keeping things mysterious. But what we do have is enough to start putting theories together. And to really get what's happening, we need to talk about how the worlds are connected now. Yeah, Fortnite's gone full-on multiverse with this one. We already saw the signs in our last video. Fortnite linked Battle Royale to LEGO Fortnite. That's why those Overlord spires started popping up in Odyssey. And now, there's a whole new expedition mode that's literally let us progress the Battle Royale story from inside LEGO Fortnite. And how do we know these modes are connected? Easy. Same spires, same bosses, and both seasons dropped on the same day. Even wilder, they both end on the exact same day too. We're talking LEGO, Battle Royale, and OG mode all tied together. But now the real question is, what's the connection between Battle Royale and Fortnite OG? What's the actual link between those islands? We already talked about how there's a portal in Utopia City showing the zero-point vault, and that's a big deal. Why? Because that whole vault storyline first kicked off back in Season 8, Chapter 1. That's when we discovered a strange underground structure under Loot Lake. The entire Fortnite community started digging, and then we uncovered the vault, a locked chamber protected by 5 runes. Each rune had its own weird challenge. One needed us to deal massive damage, one wanted us to emote on a platform, another involved rotating spheres across the map, one was all about matching colors, and the last one? Buried in the volcano, we had to toss stuff into it like a ritual offering to charge the rune. Once all 5 were active, the unvaulting event went live. For the first time ever, we stepped into the vault, saw the 0 point up close, and got to vote on which weapon to bring back. But here's where it gets crazy. Right there, in the vault, there was a desk. And on that desk, a helmet. At the time, we didn't know what it meant. But 1 season later, we meet Singularity, the secret skin of Season 9. And yeah, she was super important. She helped build the Mika team leader, and for a long time, we thought she was Paradigm. So what does this have to do with Utopia City? Everything. Because that vault portal is the same vault that Singularity guarded. And here's the wildest twist. The challenges to unlock Singularity back in Season 9? They were literally called Utopia Challenges. Fortnite's telling us there's a direct connection between Utopia City, the Vault, and Fortnite OG, and the thread tying it all together is Singularity. Now you're probably thinking, OG is only in Season 4. Why would Singularity matter now if she doesn't show up until Season 9? And yeah, that's the exact mystery. Fortnite is planting seeds. They're hinting that Singularity still matters right now, in the bigger storyline. So either she's coming back early, or she's already involved in ways we don't fully see yet. Fortnite's cooking something deep here. And Utopia City? It's the clue we weren't supposed to notice. And here's where things get wild. If you look at Utopia City from above, it mirrors the structure of the OG vault. In the vault, we had the 0 point surrounded by 6 pillars, 3 on each side, each holding a weapon. Now, Utopia City has something eerily similar, a glowing sphere at the center, and 3 small pillars right next to it. Coincidence? Nah, this isn't just a nod. This is the vault, reimagined for Chapter 6. But hold up, I know what you're thinking. None of this is confirmed yet, right? True, right now it's all theory, but everything lines up. And just like LEGO Fortnite is connected to Battle Royale, it looks like Fortnite OG is getting roped in too. Let's talk about the rocket event that's coming in OG. You've probably seen the graffiti in Hope's room, the rocket, the spire. Something's happening. But here's where it gets creepy. This new visitor in OG, he's not the same one we met in Chapter 1. And the events? They're changing. Fortnite is rewriting the timeline. And there's a theory that might sound crazy, but what if the real connection between OG and Battle Royale isn't Singularity at all? What if it's the Visitor? In Chapter 1, the Visitor launched a rocket and vanished into a rift that literally cracked the sky. But we never saw where he went. What if that rocket comes back through Rift in Battle Royale? Think about it. OG and Battle Royale are synced now. They started the same day. They end the same day. If this theory is right, both maps are about to lose their protective bubbles. In Battle Royale, that means invasion. No more shield around the island. Outside forces? They're coming in. And in OG, we're gonna see a rift tear through the sky, dropping stuff into the island. Maybe even the cube. Maybe something worse. So what happens if the Visitor's rocket blasts out of OG and lands in Battle Royale? That would explain the graffiti with a rocket next to a spire in Hope's lab. And that would mean both realities are colliding in real time. LEGO, OG, Battle Royale, all of it, all connected. So yeah, keep your eyes on the rocket event in OG. Watch it closely. If it mirrors the original, or if it messes with Battle Royale directly, we'll know for sure. Fortnite isn't just crossing over timelines, it's smashing them together. Now let's talk heroes. While the villains wage war on the island, Hope and Jones have built their own superhero academy. They brought in legends like Midas, and even a now liberated Night Rose as instructors. Oh, and Superman? Yeah, he brought in Robin straight from the DC universe. He's already handing out missions and putting rookies to the test with his mythic grapple. So, how do you join this school? Simple. Have superpowers. And a lot of people got theirs after the Star Wars event. That battle bus Superman saved? It was hit with some kind of magical burst, turning every passenger into a superhero. They were the first to enroll. Each kid has a unique gift. Kill Switch turned into a full-on android. He can track enemy footsteps and slow down time while shooting. Haley Sky got her power from Fortnite's own storm. She can literally transform into a monster. And Ziggy? He didn't absorb any element from the island. He's a weird fusion of Summer Jonesy and a chameleon. Yeah, Fortnite's wild. And yeah, it looks like that's just the beginning of what these new powers can do. Next up, Morgan Mist. And honestly, she might just be the most powerful of the bunch. Not only did she gain powers, but she's diving headfirst into magic. Right now, there's already a few missions where you can track her shadows, and inside the academy, they're keeping her cloak locked away. Rumor has it unlocks some of the craziest abilities we've ever seen. And yeah, her evolution, her powers, and everything else in this story. I'll be covering all of it right here on the channel. So don't forget to sub, or you'll miss it when it drops. Now let's talk about Synthwave. We don't know much about her, but based on what we've seen, she was probably vibing with her headphones on when the blast hit. And boom, her power is now completely tied to music. And finally, there's Light Rider. She absorbed the raw energy of Fortnite matter. Yeah, those glowing blue cubes you see when players get eliminated, that stuff. And she shaped it into a power of her own, a custom hoverboard she can literally fly on. So now that we know the heroes and the villains of this season, we gotta dive deeper. Hope's asking for help investigating Core's mission. But to do that, we need to talk to Kendo, Daigo's brother, who's seriously worried about what happened to him after entering the spirit realm. Turns out, Daigo isn't acting on his own. He's being possessed by the puppeteer. That changes everything. Daigo's not the one trying to control all the realities. It's the dark entity from the demon world pulling the strings. So we report back to Hope, and she's got a plan. Destroy the spires, rescue Daigo, enter the demon realm, and defeat the dark presence once and for all. But get this, we're just getting started. The best part of this chapter's story, still ahead. And what's wild is how they're starting to link all of this into other modes, like Lego Fortnite, and even OG mode. Remember how I said they're happening at the same time? Now, over in Utopia City, people have found access to the Nexus, the same one from the Chapter 1 Season 8 finale. And guess what? OG just kicked off its own storyline, with a brand new visitor. Yeah, it's all starting to connect. I've got a theory, a big one. What if this is all leading to one massive final crossover event? A complete universe clash where every mode gets pulled in, resetting the lore, the characters, the entire story. Basically, a Fortnite 2.0. New era, new rules, everything changes. Too soon to say for sure, but if it's real, we're probably at least a year and a half away.